game changer. All right, I usually cringe when someone says game changer, gets overused. But truly, this new MetalFab, it is a game changer. Believe the hype, it's real. The idea, you can cut, fabricate, weld in small shops without all of the extra bells and whistles. You're up and running with no experience. So this video, we have an official launch of the MetalFab. Want to kind of talk about what I experienced testing out lots of different materials. Lots more info in this one, so use the timestamps if you want to skip on around. Lots of good stuff coming on this xTool MetalFab. And before we get too far into all these amazing projects, a closer look at the machine, the welding, all that good stuff, I do want to say, because it's live, that means deposits are live. The pre-sale event is incredible. And really, that's the best time to buy. It's never going to be lower price-wise than this. A lot of us theorized that the price, it came in a lot lower than what we expected. Some great giveaways and add-ons. So be sure to check out that link for the full specs, all the details, but also that deposit, right? It's fully refundable. I think you get 5 years warranty as opposed to 1 to 2 years if you don't do the pre-sale event. So definitely jump on early. Yes, it is our affiliate link down below. That means we do get a small portion to support our channel for each sale through that. Use whatever, but there is the best sales and deals there. All right, we're gonna add a lot of value, showing you what this can do, and expect a lot more content in the future. But let's jump in. What is going on with this machine? So talking about this brand new xTool MetalFab, amazing. I had the opportunity to test it over a couple of days. Very few out, but I was able to test and really learn a lot about the machine. The point of this video is to get as much information out to you all and really just to say it is an impressive machine. So really quick, I know I've shown this before, quick 30 seconds overview, what is this machine? So that visual, way better than what I could do in just under 30 seconds. It's incredible. So we have laser welding, we have laser cutting, we have laser cleaning. You can pop that into a CNC and cut all kinds of materials. Yes, even up to 10 millimeters thick. So lots of details here. Be sure to check out at some point at the end of this video, in between, check out the link. Check out the website. Lots of new information just got released with this official launch of this machine. Exciting stuff. And so what I want to do is show you my experience welding, some of the things that I learned. No experience welding ever, and I was able to get some great welds right off the bat. And then the CNC cutter and all the applications. So if you're coming at this from the welding world, hopefully can answer a fair amount of those questions, but really I can show you a lot more about the laser side of things with the CNC and cutting, because I have a lot more experience with that. I'll even get into the software, give you a closer look at the software and some of the updates at the end. If you're coming at this from the laser world, no experience with welding, hey, I'm right there with you and just show you how easy it is. So the goal is just to give as much info as we can, lots more content on this really, really awesome new machine. So let's check out the welding first. So quick look at the welder, that's the wire feeder. Here's that big CNC unit. It is a 4x4 foot, bed. We got exhaust at the back. You can get all the specs again on the website. I do recommend, having some exhaust set up for your welding. Here's some of the projects that xTool went ahead and cut and then welded using the laser welder and unit. This is a fun one. I will talk a lot more about project ideas later, as far as sales ideas, all the things that you can do, but just a really quick look at some of the things that they did make using the CNC cutter and the welder. And of course, you've probably seen this chair already. This is pretty thick. This is 5 millimeter. It's awesome. It's really thick, but the welds are super, super clean. If you look at it, looks like very, very clean welds. And of course, I wanted to test it out. How strong is it? You can see, oh yeah. But have you seen anyone sit in the chair yet? Have you seen that? So I had to, of course, test out sitting in the chair. And wouldn't you know it, yeah, it supports the weight just fine. So the cutter can cut even deeper, even thicker materials. And then the welder, all the possibilities. So project ideas, welding ideas, we're going to look at a lot more ideas than what you can find on the website. A lot. You can use the timestamps or just wait till the end. You'll see it, but some really great possibilities with the welder. So let's dig into the welding. So here's my first time welding ever. Really, really simple, right? Two sheets, put it together, kind of figured out that angle, nice and steady, and got a weld, right? So this is my first weld ever, and it held up, right? It held up really well. And so I did weld both sides. So I welded one side, then you see my second weld. So I guess it's not my first one ever, but it's strong. It's strong. Wow.
Try to break it now. You can stomp on it with your foot on the floor if you want. Back and forth. Try to break it off somehow. Back and forth. Back and forth.
Did it break the weld? Weld's holding, metal's bending. So I was able to do quite a few different types of welds. I did bring some extra materials with me, just with testing out here. Now, obviously, we didn't have all the clamps, all the setup tools that you would probably want to have, but it was enough to get going with just some simple work. Now, this was just some rectangular stock, had some bevels to it, but was still able to get a pretty clean weld on all the different sides. Just wanted to test out the possibilities for these frames. I'm thinking art pieces would be great for this. Obviously, we're going to do the bigger stuff, but check out this weld right here, pretty clean. So you can get some really clean welds. Obviously some practice, as far as how fast you're moving, steady hand and all that, loads of variables. But the results I've seen from others, incredible. And for me being a newbie, some great results. So some small stuff like this, I think there was some great, applications for cool, metal art and whatnot. Definitely would want to have some more clamps and some different setups here. But the possibilities are definitely there to get really clean. There's not going to be a lot of cleanup afterwards, especially on tight corners like this where it'd be really tricky, to clean it up, with different attachments for a grinder. But just doing little test files here, lots of welding possibilities. Here's some other footage that xTool, shared out from their experience testing this. So, right, we can weld all kinds of different materials, even super thin stock like this welds really, really well. And so a lot of folks, when they've talked about welding the thin stuff, aluminum, really challenging. Well, this machine, this laser welder works really well to get nice clean welds, right? Again, how much wire are you doing? Get all those settings in. Some great results on a really clean. There's no splatter. There's no dross going everywhere. This is what I'm really excited about, is doing these circular bases where you can just do a wraparound, you get the right amount of wire, all the variables, but it's strong, right? It's strong. So imagine you have a pillar like this, and you want to make a table base. Well, I'm really excited about this for furniture building, is making one of these pedestal tables, right? And so the reason why I'm so excited is a couple years back, about 4 or 5 years ago, I made a big table, an epoxy table, and I had to, purchase this big base. You see it right here? Well, look at those really basic welds on that. Well, that base was like 300, 400 bucks just for that. Obviously some powder coating, just get a local shop to powder coat it for you. So lots of possibilities for table bases there. I'll explore some more table base ideas later in the video. Okay, underwater welding. I still don't know all the applications for this. I can think of a metal dock on the water. If you think of other applications, when would you use underwater welding? Put in the comments. I'm really curious where that feature would be handy, but it works. You can do it. So that laser makes it possible. Clean, clean, clean. All right, other applications. So you can cut, right? Handheld cutting. Obviously, we can put this in the CNC and can do it, but in handheld mode, you can cut through. And I think there are some different settings for how much, the thickness. You can check the website for that. One note is, I will say, when we were welding, we were using argon as a shielding gas. So for welding, you will have to have, different shielding gas. So there's a little bit more on that. Expect more information on that in upcoming videos, talking about the whole, because that's new to me, as far as what you would need for the welding component. This is the rust removal. Awesome. But I will talk about when I get to the CNC cutting that you actually can do a lot of it just on a compressed air, on an air compressor, or just oxygen. So this is a cool feature on the Facebook group. So BTX Laser, this is some videos that he put up on the MetalFab Facebook group showing some rust removal through paint. And so I thought that was really cool. So he was one of the beta testers, and he has got some really cool stuff over on Facebook, so you can check it out. But here, I think he said this was 7 millimeter pipe. And so just cutting through here, and he noted that the kerf size is really, really small. And so with other torches, you're removing a ton of material, right? It's a really big kerf, but it's just so thin, the kerf, because it's a laser. And then obviously this is 7 mil, so maybe, the spec's a little bit thicker, but it's still cut through, right? It's still cut through, pop it off. You can see he talked about how it was cold to the touch. It wasn't crazy hot like with some other cutters he's used. So check out his stuff. He's got some more things over on Facebook. You can check out that MetalFab group, but wanted to give him a shout out. So we got that little BTX laser watermark on there. So for me, I just can't wait to jump in with the welding. I can't wait to explore more of the options as a woodworker. I have a lot of beautiful slabs, all kinds of hardwoods. Would love to make tables and bases. And so this welder allows a newbie like me to be up and running to weld bases. Now, obviously, this is just a small, simple little frame, but it can handle the big stuff. And really, those in the industry are saying that this is going to be a game changer, and laser welders are starting to revolutionize the welding industry. There's just clean welds, fast. It's awesome. Lots of great. Make sure you check out the website. Lots more detail. All the technical stuff, if you're curious, as far as the gases that we're running, all the different, variables, check that out. Some good stuff there. Stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to show lots of different project ideas. Every one of my videos, it's not a product review. While I might be reviewing a machine, it's really how you can make money from a machine and how you can do all kinds of different projects. So stay tuned to the end. Lots of ideas, give you some more ideas on what this machine is capable of. So again, stay to the end or jump ahead. But now to the CNC Cutter, laser into the CNC, doing all the things. So what's great is just compressed air. This air compressor, and then there's an air dryer there to ensure we have dry air going to the machine. We were able to do most of these cuts. Now you can use oxygen or nitrogen or other gases, for different types of applications, but just so you know, mostly it was just compressed air for us. Different sheets, obviously you can do all the different thicknesses. You can slide it in actually from the side, or you can just put it in like I did here. It's 24 inches by 24 inches for the bed cutting size. You can clamp it on down. You have these supports, kind of like the P2. You can move them around and add a bunch of different ones in there. Lots of possibilities, but this is just a 12 by 24 sheet. Here wanted to show some small pieces like this brass. Yeah, we can go even smaller. So all of you jewelers, or you have something really valuable, maybe sterling silver or something like that. I don't know if it can cut sterling silver, and we weren't able to test that. I ran out of time. Don't worry, we will test it. But this brass, right, it fit, right? You can get a small little sheet in there, but wait, there's more. Even without the clamps, we wanted to test that vibe-free feature where it doesn't vibrate. And so here, it's just resting without any clamps. No clamps whatsoever, no adhesive. It's just resting, and it's cutting brass. Really, really pinpoint accuracy, really high detail. So if you are coming at this from the jeweler world, or you want to do really intricate designs and metalwork, it is possible. Definitely possible. Now, it's not popping through here. They do pop out eventually. There's a lot of great footage that xTool has released. Here's some of their other early test cuts showing when it's just simple geometry, it goes really fast. And so obviously speed is great, but really the question a lot of folks want to know is how clean are the cuts? Well, the cuts are perfectly clean. There's not post-processing necessary. Obviously there's lots of variables with settings and kind of tweaking that here and there. They did say that it can cut 10, this is 10 millimeter carbon steel. Now they were running oxygen while they were doing this, so the possibilities of thickness definitely there. Expect a lot more on the different test cuts and possibilities. But here, I showed this in my last video. I showed that one in real time just to show what it looks like, but just for the sake of cramming in as much here as possible, sharing with you lots of ideas about this machine. The hype is real, it really is. Look at that intricate detail, right? So the little mountain ridges and the snow, awesome. Works so great. It's awesome. So good. For simple shapes, it works really quick, really fast, but even intricate little letters like this, all the different designs are possible. Here are some other pieces. I think Mike cut these just to show, the detail and different, pop culture art, all kinds of different art you can do. The dude. Well, that's not the dude, but Anyway, so Big Lebowski. We got a sign here. We got address signs, lots of possibilities. I will show in the software later some design files, some free files, and how the software works. So if you actually want to see the software in use, if you're coming at this from the welding world and maybe don't know it as much, very simple, very easy, but it can cut so much. This is some anodized aluminum, cutting out for metals. Then you just plop this in, the F1 Ultra or another laser, and a laser can engrave it. A lot of folks ask, can you engrave with this? This is a cutter. It is not set up for laser engraving at present, but a very affordable, even the F1 Lite at like 700, 800 bucks can engrave that and everything. Here again, the two cameras allow for really pinpoint accuracy where I can really maximize all spots on the sheet to do all kinds of different things. A lot of detail in this specific file for this little Bigfoot sign, but it cuts really clean. There isn't, the dross on the back side. It's clean. It's a clean cut. All right, a lot of folks want to know about the thick stuff. Knife making, I think, is going to be a major use of this machine. This is 3mm stainless steel. We just went up and running. I think if we had more time, we would do way more test cuts on all the different materials, so expect that in the future. I've got a lot of really great content, a lot of metals already stockpiled, so expect a lot of this, but you can jump in with that pre-order, get going. It's fun to play with, but there's a lot of business applications. So here's just a quick look at some of the things I made. I have more footage. I have a lot more stuff that I'm going to share over this month, but just wanted to give a quick look. Now here are some other ideas how to make money in project ideas. So like I mentioned earlier, I do want to show some different project ideas. Now I did something like this in my last video, but I do have some new ideas that I really want to showcase and underscore. So obviously I think this is probably the biggest way where you can make a lot of money. Think right here, think about making one of these with a CNC cutter. You get your cool design and then you just weld up some other stock. Look at the price points, right? So obviously there's lots of variables here, but I think this is a great moneymaker. And locally, I'm sure you could get lots of folks who would want this, some really, really custom work here. But like the last video, I just showed all these things. Here are some ones like the cost of people charging for these things. So this just is an idea. You can just batch these out, just have them on hand. You can make these kits like this to batch out. So there are lots of different digital files. This one's kind of cool. Again, I think there's just so many possibilities with furniture. This one I've seen before with wood, but I mean, cool, right? So many cool possibilities. And so just some other ideas. My other videos talking about the MetalFab, I explored some other possibilities. I think really incorporating LED lights or wood slabs, there's a lot of possibility there. Of course, the wood art. So much more. So this is all on Etsy. A lot of these are either people, how much they're charging, or they're the digital files. However, I do want to talk about digital files and the software. So you want to see a closer look at what the software looks like and just how easy it is to use if you're new to the laser software, but also talking about some files where they're basically get you 10 free files, but much more affordable files as well. So let's check that out real quick. So the software. So here you can see this is for the MetalFab. Obviously the software is going to get updated a lot over time. This is one of the early ones, but this is really for those of you who are coming at it from the welding world. Maybe you don't know as much about the laser software. If you already know, I still got some tips here, but want to talk about how easy the software is for the laser cutting. Myself, I started doing some CNC work years ago, and it was just so, it took me a while to learn the software. And so some things are challenging. This one is not challenging to learn. So I'm going to explore some different files, some of the cool features, and then talk about free files. So obviously I talked about all the possibilities. Where do you find these files? Well, you can go to Etsy, and I've showed that in my last video. I talked about a lot of Etsy solutions or locations. But this is one that I talk about a lot, Creative Fabrica. So on Etsy, if I buy one file, it's at least $2, $3. Some of them are, $8, $9. Well, the cost of 1 to 2 files, $4, you get unlimited downloads here on Creative Fabrica. If you use my link down below, you get 10 free files without paying anything. But just take a look at some of these ideas for these signs, right? Whether it's garden signs, family cabin signs, you know, some just really easy customizable ones. Here we have different panels, lots of different stencils, fonts. There's a lot of great fonts that you're going to need in order to do, you know, what you can do with the metal. So look at all of these. You've seen some of this in the projects I did, the metals that I did. I found all of these on Creative Fabrica. And so what's great about these is it's unlimited downloads. So, you know, even if it's, you know, these cool fonts, you know, all the possibilities. So let's say I want to do this for some wall art. It does include a commercial license. So you can cut these, sell these, not have to pay extra. Again, it's that unlimited downloads. And the stencil feature is really important, right? The stencil font. So let's jump back to XCS and just show that. So, you know, if I want to do a family name, okay, this family name is Family. There is my family name. And I'm sorry, that's ridiculous, but you get the idea. What was that font? It was Pegro. Pegro. Real time, just showing you how easy this is. So here is that font. You see how the A is split, so it's not going to go through there. The circle isn't going to fall out. Otherwise, if you engraved it, it would fall out. So that is necessary. However, oh, you know, yeah, okay, you get the idea. So we have that, but I want everything to connect together. So I'm going to add a little rectangle, and we'll make it, you know, this isn't going to be perfect. This is just a real-time example. All right, so let's say that's what I'm going to do, right? I would fix this later, but you get the idea. We'll put it all together, and now, boom, we got this. Oh, but what are you going to do about this little thing here? Okay, well, we could just add a little rectangle. There is a feature for adding tabs and other stuff, but you could add just a little bit if you wanted this all connected. All right, family, whatever the family name was. So here's that idea. Let's see, let me pull one up that I did for some names. So here's an address. So here's, you know, here's the name, the number. You can tab it together like so. You know, there's so many possibilities here in the software. Now, as far as all the other things, we'll get into that in future videos. In future videos, I'm going to have much more in depth on the software, some of the features, lots of extra little features in here. Again, this is early, so expect there to be some updates and changes. All right, so xTool is really responsive, and if anyone's ever like, you know what, I want to add, you know, something else, I think you should really, you know, do some other features in your software. They listen to the community, and they're pretty responsive with that. But the software is really simple. It's really easy. There's lots of cool features in here. They do have their own AI where you can generate some really cool stuff, some really cool things. You know, I imagine they're probably going to have more things in the future, but just a quick look at how easy, especially for those of you who were like, hey, what's the software like for the CNC? Super easy, super intuitive. Questions? Drop them in the comments down below, but expect more on this with all the possibilities in the future. For ideas. So folks, that is as much as I can show right now. There will be a lot more to show in the future. If you're interested, you know, please consider subscribing to see more videos, all kinds of other stuff. Of course, updates when I have my own machine here and can do a lot more testing, but more footage, more projects are coming. On that note, yes, obviously this video is, well, actually this video is not sponsored. This video is just a video to get the information out. Now, xTool did fly me out to the demo room, and I will be getting a machine, but there's no compensation for making these videos. The only way we make any money is affiliate sales. And so please read up, check it out. Right now, it's just the pre-order, a deposit. And so how this works for xTool, anytime they launch a new product, you can put down a deposit. It's 100% refundable. If you decide when you get to the point of making your purchase, you change your mind, it's fully refundable. But this is the best deal you're ever gonna see on this machine. When they launch a new product, that's the best price. And if you use our affiliate link or the link down below, we do get a small portion. That's why I'm able to make these videos, you know, support my family, but to make more content like this. So if you wanna see more, consider using that or don't. Some great savings, automatic coupon code through my link, all that good stuff. Okay, what do you still need to see to learn more about this? While I might not have been able to test everything in the limited time, I did purchase a lot of other materials that I left at the testing room, at the demo room, and I can reach out to other makers who've been making some really cool stuff and maybe have access at future demo rooms. Or, of course, when I get my unit. What do you really want to see? What do you want to know about this machine? Leave it in the comments down below. But be sure, for sure, check out that website. A lot of the questions are answered there. There is a lot of new content. And like I mentioned earlier, that Facebook group, there's a lot of good stuff there. I can check out some of the other Facebook groups. Well, thank you for watching. I hope this did add value. It's not link pushing, it really isn't. I genuinely think this is a fantastic machine and I can't wait for all the applications for my business, and I think it could be great for your business as well. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care.